Yo Napot, everyone! It's time to learn about the devil today. We're going to be discussing what is the mark of the beast? Well, the mark of the beast is worldliness. It isn't bad by itself, but loving it is strongly condemned in the Bible. As James said, "Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God." James chapter 4 verse 4. Cherishing worldliness is condemned because its creator, the beast, is using it to lead people away from God, according to Revelation chapter 13 verses 3 to 4. In fact, this fondness of worldliness is the reason why the beast is named the way it is in the Bible. Humans are animals that were created in God's image, according to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. So if you break the connection between humans and God, which is what loving worldliness causes, we're just animals. In other words, we're like beasts, like Satan the devil, who's also lost his heavenly status because of his ungodly ideas. A practical example of investing in worldliness is 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 to 5. There are a whole bunch of words there that are used to describe what worldly people do. For example, they're covetous because without the hope of eternal life, the only way they can succeed is by getting as much stuff as they can. They don't care about the fact that life is about more than money and things. As Jesus said, "Take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth." Luke chapter 12 verse 15. Also, they're unthankful because after all that God did for them, creating them, giving them the truth, allowing them to live eternally, they decide to simply ignore Him. Instead, they put all their trust in human institutions. The Israelites are an example of unthankful people. After all that God did to get them out of Egypt, in Numbers chapter 14 verses 1 to 4, the children of Israel decided to go back to the land of the Nile. They trusted in Egypt's strong government, which would surely recover from the loss of their army and their firstborns. To deal with this ungratefulness, God made all the adults, except for Joshua and Caleb, spend 40 years in the wilderness, so they wouldn't get to go to Egypt or Canaan. Because of what worldliness can do, Christians are warned about what happens to some people who get the mark of the beast. As it was said in Revelation, "If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Revelation chapter 14 verses 9 to 10. However, the Bible also says that everyone will get its mark, and that we can't do anything without it. As it was said in Revelation, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 17. Does this mean we're doomed to be destroyed? No. Let's look closely at Revelation chapter 14 verse 9. "If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, they'll be punished." The fact that the Bible mentioned these two conditions means some people can receive the mark of the beast without worshiping him. This interpretation allows both Revelation chapter 13 verses 16 to 17 and chapter 14 verses 9 to 11 to fulfill without dooming the whole world. Now, what this means is that we just have to be smart about how we use worldly institutions. We can use them if we so desire. In fact, we must, because if we get sick, we have to see a doctor, and to get food, we probably have to work for a secular company. We're receiving the mark of the beast because our lives are being sustained by people who don't believe in God. However, we shouldn't put all our trust in the beast because that's worshiping him. We should give our hearts to God. As it was said in Mark, And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Mark chapter 12, verse 30. We can also look at Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5, and Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. When we see the doctor, we'll know it's God who makes the medicine heal us. When we go to work, we'll know that it's God who protects our company from going bankrupt. In fact, even if it does go bankrupt, He'll make sure we can always feed ourselves. Therefore, my advice is that we should refrain from trusting in man-made solutions. Society's answers to human problems may help out a lot of people, but sometimes they don't work out. Some people take medicine and don't get well. They get fired and can't find work. Thus, they become depressed because the only people they trusted failed them. Most importantly, though, because they refuse to listen to God, they will end up in big trouble. As it was said in Jeremiah, "Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord." Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. And that is where I'm going to stop with this Bible Q&A. What is the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast is worldliness and secular institutions. But as long as we don't love it, we can still have it without getting into trouble. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.